So before we begin, let's get something straight. Overrated doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means it's overhyped, it's overloved, maybe overpriced and overexposed, maybe just not quite the magical Instagram paradise you expected. Florida is packed with legendary destinations. They're plastered on billboards, TikToks, and travel blogs. And while some truly do live up to the hype, others, well, let's just say that the souvenir t-shirt you bought there will last longer than the thrill. Now, before we dive in, there are not going to be any theme parks on this list. Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens, they'll each get their own overrated or overhyped episodes soon. This video is based on a mix of online reviews, social media comments, and my own personal experiences traveling all over Florida. And remember, this isn't the correct list, it's just my list. If you disagree, feel free to yell at me in the comments or defend your favorite tourist trap with honor down there. So buckle up, because today we're counting down Florida's 10 most overrated tourist traps. The spots everyone tells you to visit, but maybe shouldn't be your top priority. So let's start off big in South Beach. This is Miami's shimmering playground of palm trees, neon, and perpetual traffic. This is a place that looks incredible in pictures. Art Deco hotels, glowing pastel pinks and aquas, bikinis, beautiful people, Lamborghinis, and people who look like they tan for a living. But the reality? Parking here is expensive and hard to find, and half of your beach day might be spent dodging selfie sticks, amateur DJs, and bottle service club promoters named Chad. Ocean Drive's restaurant strip is famous, but definitely not for its bargains. Reviewers here regularly warn of hidden fees, automatic gratuities, and $30 cocktails. And lots of weird and unnecessary pretentiousness. Is it iconic? Absolutely. Is it relaxing? About as much as a South Florida HOA meeting. Now, the Art Deco Historic District here is legit. It's the largest concentration of 1920s and 30s Art Deco architecture in the entire world. And yeah, it is beautiful and it's definitely something you need to see, but maybe admire it while driving through with the windows rolled up and your wallet zipped shut. Next, we're going to head all the way up the Panhandle to Crab Island in Destin, which, despite the name, isn't actually an island. It's a shallow sandbar that turns into an aquatic block party every weekend during the summer. It looks dreamy and beautiful on social media. Clear turquoise water that looks like you're in the Bahamas, floating tiki bars, live music, everyone having a blast. What you don't see, the thumping music, the boat rental bill, the diesel fumes, and the guy doing cannonballs 3 feet over. And you can't swim here from shore, you can't walk here, you need a boat. And if you don't have one of those, you need to rent one, and that can be expensive. Or a really generous friend with a pontoon. And by noon, this place is so packed it looks like a NASCAR tailgate at sea. Which, not a bad time really. Locals say it used to be a chill hangout, now it's spring break meets water world. If that's your scene, great. Looks like a great time. But if you're picturing a peaceful sandbar picnic with a few drinks and friends, maybe pick literally any other sandbar in the area. The world famous, the original Jon Surf Shop in Cocoa Beach. Now, if you've spent any time riding around on Florida's highways, you've definitely seen these billboards. Jon Surf Shop, 150 miles ahead. Only 90 miles left to Jon. They put these wildly high mileage numbers on these billboards to convince you that by the time you hit Cocoa Beach, you almost feel legally required to stop here. And this legendary surf shop has been selling board shorts and beach gear since 1959. And in that time, they've somehow convinced half the state that it's a big tourist attraction. Today, it's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, making it the only beach shop you can visit at 3 a.m. when you really need a new rash guard. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a cool store. It's a nice store. Surfboards, stickers, beach towels, flip-flops, those famous t-shirts, the whole deal. But at the end of the day, it's a store. I remember when back in the day when wearing a Jon t-shirt was kind of this weird flex for Midwest kids. Anyone else remember that? Just me? These shirts were kind of a big deal. It used to mean you had actually been here, the world famous Jon Surf Shop in Cocoa Beach. Now it mostly means you just sat in traffic on A1A. Still, it's worth a stop if you're out here. It's fun, it's nostalgic. Don't expect a life-changing experience. Don't drive 90 miles to get here, unless your dream vacation is comparing t-shirt prices. Now we head to Clearwater Beach, home of Frenchy's Rockaway Grill, arguably one of Florida's most famous seafood shacks, if only for all of those billboards. Just like Ron Jon, this is another place that has slapped up billboards all over Central Florida of that grouper shouting, "Wow." And every single time I see one, I always think of Owen Wilson.
Wow.
And honestly, the place is not bad. I dig the place. I like Frenchy's. It's beachy, the vibes are fun, the beer is cold, and the view is unbeatable. But the hype around this place is huge, and when you finally score a table after an hour wait, the food lands squarely in the solid but not spectacular zone. The grouper sandwich here is what draws the crowds, and it's good, but so is the one at the little beach bar 3 blocks away for half the price, who doesn't have like 100 billboards across Central Florida they need to pay for. It is worth a visit. It's a Clearwater icon. Just don't expect enlightenment between the fries and the coleslaw. And just down the coast in Madeira Beach, you'll find John's Pass Village and Boardwalk, a waterfront mashup of shops, seafood joints, and dolphin cruises. It's colorful, it's busy, and feels like the set of a 1990s travel commercial that never stopped filming here. The problem isn't the place, it's everything around it. Parking here is brutal, and ticket enforcement is faster than a seagull spotting a French fry. Funny story, back in the day when these meters still only took coins, I saw meter maids sitting like a vulture just waiting for this one car's meter to expire so they could swoop in with that ticket. And as soon as they started walking up, I walked up and dropped a quarter in there right in front of them to give that car more time. They yelled at me, they said, "You can't do that," and they proceeded to give them a ticket anyway. Kinda shady, kinda weird, but be warned before you press your luck with the parking meters here. They don't play. And the shops are mostly just your typical Florida souvenir stuff. T-shirts, tacky trinkets, saltwater taffy, and plastic gators wearing sunglasses. Still, there are some gems. Scully's and the Friendly Fisherman get solid seafood reviews. I once had a pistachio-crusted red snapper here that was outstanding. And dolphin cruises can be lots of fun. But there's also some big touristy chains here too, like the Hooters and Bubba Gump. And this is probably the best place to rent jet skis in this entire area, since they let you take them out under the bridge and into the Gulf instead of just staying in the Intracoastal. If you've survived a John's Pass parking ticket or a Crab Island hangover, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps other people find this video. And if you're new here, please go ahead and hit subscribe. I sincerely appreciate that. I am on a goal to hit 100,000 subscribers, and your support means the world to me. Thank you so much. We've got plenty more Florida stuff coming your way. Now we head a bit inland to International Drive in Orlando, or I Drive as the cool kids say. This 11-mile stretch is packed with every attraction imaginable: wax museums, escape rooms, go-karts, mini golf, outlet stores, and approximately 6 Olive Gardens per square mile. It's not terrible, it's just a sensory overload of mediocre tourist sameness. One reviewer called it Vegas if Vegas forgot to have fun. Well, maybe that does sound kind of bad actually. It's also where you're going to find plenty of sketchy motels, so make sure you do your homework before you book a place around here. Otherwise, you might find yourself in the real-life sequel to the Florida Project. And right in the middle of iDrive, earning its own slot on this list, Icon Park. Home of the Orlando Eye, a 400-foot tall observation ride, once billed as the tallest Ferris wheel on the East Coast when it opened in 2015. This complex also has a Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, Sea Life Aquarium, restaurants and bars. All fine, but none of them are particularly iconic. There's also the Orlando Slingshot, the world's tallest slingshot ride, and the Orlando Starflyer, a 450-foot tall swing ride that is the tallest of its kind in the world. You show up here and there's a bunch of little places all trying to get you to open your wallet. Visitors often describe this place as a mall with a Ferris wheel attached. And while it looks massive in photos, it's surprisingly really small in person. It's more like a little plaza than a park. To its credit, the nighttime lighting is beautiful and the ride itself can be romantic if you time it at sunset, but it is pretty expensive. Just one spin around the Orlando Eye Ferris wheel starts at about $30 with some online deals. The Mallory Square Sunset Celebration in Key West. Way down in Key West, Mallory Square hosts one of Florida's oldest daily rituals, the sunset celebration. People gather here to watch the sun dip behind the horizon and then they applaud. It sounds beautiful, sounds romantic, but the reality is a little bit different. This started in the 1960s when local artists began gathering here to sell crafts and play music as the sun dipped into the Gulf. Now it's part festival, part mosh pit. Every evening, hundreds, sometimes even thousands, crowd the waterfront here for that perfect sunset photo, while jugglers, sword swallowers, and magicians compete for your attention and for your tips. It's fun, but in the same way, Mardi Gras is fun. Not for everybody. Expect noise, maybe an elbow to the ribs while trying to get a glimpse of that last sliver of orange while trying to see the sun through 500 people holding their iPhone in the air to take a video they're never going to watch again. If you want the view without the chaos, hop on a sunset cruise. You'll get the same spectacle, minus the juggling chainsaws. Staying right here in Key West, just a few blocks away is Duval Street, Key West's famous strip of bars, gift shops, and questionable decisions. By day, it's t-shirt stores, cheesy trinkets, and conch fritters. By night, it's a rum-soaked blur of music, neon, and folks who will not remember this vacation. It's fun, sure, but it's also become wildly commercial. It doesn't have the same heart it used to have when Key West was really a locals place. The real Key West spirit hides in side alleys and old locals bars, like Captain Tony's or the Green Parrot. The southern end of Duval Street is closer to Havana, Cuba than it is to Miami, so this place really is at the end of the road. It's worth a visit to say you've done it, have a frozen daiquiri, grab a slice of key lime pie, then go find the authentic Keys vibe a few streets over. And finally, we're going to head up to St. Augustine for St. Augustine's Nights of Lights. Every winter, America's oldest city turns into a twinkling wonderland of over 3 million white LED lights, covering downtown's historic buildings, bridges, and trees. The event started in 1993, inspired by an old Spanish tradition of placing candles in the windows during the holidays. Social media made this event go viral and really blew this thing up. Now the crowds can feel like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Today, this event attracts more than 1 million visitors a year and roughly that many cars fighting for parking. And have you ever tried to find parking in St. Augustine on a good day? Even that can be tough. And while some parts of the historic district do look stunning, others are darker and less decorated than you'd expect. Now don't get me wrong, this is beautiful and it's a holiday vibe worth seeing, but if you want the magic without the madness, try the trolley light tours or come on a weeknight before the peak crowd rolls in. It is gorgeous in all those TikTok videos. National Geographic has named it one of the top 10 holiday light displays in the entire world, but in person, it is wall-to-wall people, bumper-to-bumper traffic, and sidewalks so full you'll shuffle more than stroll. It's magical, yes, but not quite the serene winter wonderland those Instagram reels make it look. So there you have it, 10 Florida icons that might be just a little more famous than fabulous. None of these spots are bad, none of them are terrible, they're just a little bit overrated. Because in Florida, the best experiences aren't always the ones on the billboards and in all the ads and in all the social media. They're the hidden springs, the quiet beaches, the mom and pop gems just off the main drag. But did I miss your favorite overrated spot? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your horror stories. And if you still love South Beach or Crab Island, hey, that's fine. Someone's got to keep the souvenir shops in business. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, stay tuned. I've got lots more Florida adventures coming. I sincerely appreciate your support. Please stay safe out there, and I will see you around the Sunshine State.